Business ownership is the best way to build wealth, and buying a business is the fastest way to get there. So we occasionally get questions about starting a business from scratch versus buying an existing business like we typically talk about on this channel. Now, we at Owner Actions, we support all paths to business ownership. We just happen to focus on buying a business on this particular channel. But if you look at Owner Actions, we have resources for startups, if you want to become a franchisee, or if you want to buy an existing business or franchise. Starting a business from scratch can be hard, but it can also be rewarding. There's really a lot of steps that you need to do. Through our Owner Actions checklist, there's about 140 different actions that you need to take to really get your business up and running and thriving and have customers going. It's a lot less if you're going to go the franchise route or the buying a business route. And there's less risk in the buying a business route because the business you're buying already has a proven customer base. And customers are hard to find. They're expensive to find. Customer acquisition costs are often one of the larger expenses for most businesses and probably one of the most misunderstood expenses out there. It's very possible that you could, lose money by selling something for $10 that it costs you $1 to make because it costs you $20 in marketing and advertising expenses to find someone to buy that product for $10. So we do prefer buying the business if it's an option, but there really is no right or wrong answer. It really comes down to your personal preferences. Kind of use the analogy that it's like buying a cake or getting one from the store. There's really no wrong way to do it. It just depends on your personal circumstances, your personal skill sets. So here's how we look at some of the different ways that you can become a business owner. We think the startup path is the way to go if you have a unique idea, what you want to build doesn't already exist, or if you're someone that really wants to have control over every single decision, exactly how every single policy and procedure is going to be set up, exactly how this business is going to be marketed. You really want to maintain control of the whole process. We think franchising is great if you really don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of setting all the policies and procedures. Maybe you're not a marketing expert. You want to let the franchise handle some of the aspects of marketing. Franchise can be a great way to go there. It's somewhat of a, think of it as Legos. Either you're going to free build as the startup or you're going to follow the instructions step by step to build something in the franchise model. And then if you want to walk in and just buy something that's already up and running and already generating cash flow, obviously, buying a business is the way to go there. The policies and procedures are all in place. The customer base is all in place. Things are already running. Now, there are some negatives to buying a business, and really a lot of it is it's just hard to find deals. Business brokers are really hard to work with. They don't return phone calls. They don't return emails. Sometimes I feel like it's almost their job to stop deals from happening. We just had one the other week where a business broker wouldn't work with what we thought was a qualified buyer. They could qualify for the loan to buy the business, but for some reason the broker set some arbitrary limitations higher than what the bank would actually set. So I feel bad for the seller in that the broker is unfortunately limiting the buyer pool for I don't quite understand why. Another negative or risk with buying a business is we generally recommend buying larger businesses, the largest that you can, because then you have the infrastructure in place to support the management. You probably have a larger customer base, which is a little bit less risk as well. But then that's going to come with a larger loan. And that loan is a fixed cost. That loan represents risk. So there's kind of a balance here in that typically the bigger the business, in a way, the less risky it can become because you have more customers and because you have infrastructure. But then you add on a bigger loan, which then adds risk as well. So we never want to say that this is without risk or that it's not going to take a lot of work or anything like that. So our view is generally that buying a business is the best way to go if that option's available. If not, maybe consider a franchise. And if that's not available, then you go and start something from scratch. So let us know what you think. Leave your questions in the comments and follow us for more.